We've had a chat before about what we're hoping to achieve with the coaching. What do you hope to end up with after our session? What do you hope to get out of our conversation this morning?
I think it's kind of from when Mary told me you were coming in and support. I think I'd really like to find out a couple of things really. About the balance between the key characters in my class and my attention with the rest of the class, and hopefully some strategies for trying to deal with those tricky characters, so that I can actually go back next session and start to implement something realistic and that I can use.
So something about the needs of the other children, as well as one or two children that you're concerned about. So that's for the class. What about for you yourself? What would you like to get out of this session for you yourself as a teacher, as well as these strategies, approaches, idea? How would you like to feel at the end of the session?
I think probably more positive about that I can make something happen, particularly for the three young men. I don't know if you picked them up, Dean, Josh and Sean, but probably feeling like I can actually make a difference to them really, and as a result of that, at the same time, know that I'm making a difference to them, so actually now I can do something more with the rest of the class and help them out more.
So making a difference for them, is that important to you?
For both the class and the boys?
And for individual children?
Yeah, it is important to me, yes, it is important to me.
And can you tell me why it's important to you?
Because I want to give these three lads a chance to move forward, but at the same time I want the rest of the class to feel like it's a better situation, it's more positive for them.
What I find interesting is that when you talk about the individual children, it's almost as though Josh, Sean and Dean are one person. You know, is it possible for you to describe one of them, or to tell me about how you've managed to get Josh to work independently? How do you set it up for the rest of the children?
For the class or for the individual?
How do you explain to the children, all the children, how they're going to work? How they're going to do that task, that independent task? Oh
right, okay. Basically, we have partner voices, or it's silent, or it's partner discussion, free discussion. That's the four sort of volume things, and it corresponds to the sort of lights I've got on the board.
So when there's a certain amount of clarity in what your expectations are, and you make it very clear about what the children are going to do, you find that's working.
Sometimes.
For some of the children, some of the time. So what do you feel you need to teach Josh in order to begin to access some of that structures that you've set up? What particular thing do you think he would be able to access most easily? What does he need to learn in order to begin to work independently?
I don't know. There are so many things that spring to mind.
So where am I going with all this is certainly all the things that you've set up in the room as regards to structures, about noise level and children applying themselves to the task. It works for some of the children some of the time.
Yeah.
And what I'm curious about is for you to be able to think about what's the next step that you need to do with Josh in order to get him also.
I was hoping that perhaps you might be able to give me something on that, because I'm just wondering what I can do next, really.
Because what you're telling me is that you're a teacher who's thought quite a lot about how you're going to get a settled atmosphere in your room and children working well. You've been very thoughtful. I don't know where you've got some of your ideas from, but you've got lots of systems in there, and yet there's a sense that you feel that they're not working for one or two children.
No, I mean, there's systems that have come from last year that are working for the majority, and they've been successful last year, and I just have hit a bit of a brick wall with these three, because the systems that I normally rely on just aren't working.
And at the start of term, how was it?
honeymoon period, like we all, all get that start of the term. They come in, they don't know you, they're just getting to know you. It was a bit honeymoon period-y.
And would it also be fair for me to say that it was also the time when you were setting these things up?
Yeah, we had a period of setting the rules, and we had a lot of circle time around rules, and they were kind of a focus for a week, but that was something we decided as a school we would do, and yeah, it worked I suppose that did work quite well. And
you were being very specific and explaining things with the children, and...
Yeah, we talked a lot about, I suppose we did, in fairness, I suppose we did, because we did talk about how it would look, how it would feel. We tried to do posters and pictures about it. Unfortunately, I've taken them down.
And when was the last time you kind of revisited that?
Well, September.
Okay, and we're now sort of November, December time.
Yeah.
Would this be an opportune time to actually remind the children or revisit some of those explanations again, in order for some individual children to get a reminder of some of the detail?
Yeah.
Is that something you think you could do?
I think that probably, yeah. I think that's fair. Probably should revisit it.
We've been talking for quite a few minutes now, going around and around the issue of getting the balance between needs of individual children and the whole class, and I'm just getting this feeling that this isn't working for you.
Okay.
Am I right about that?
Well, I mean, I feel that really I kind of want to make a difference, but I don't know what to do about these three, and I was kind of rather hoping you might sort of give me some ideas of what I could do, or at least show me what I could try.
So if I said to you, in an ideal world, if you could do one thing to make it better, what would that be? In an ideal world.
In an ideal world.
In an ideal world.
The three lads would be in a provision that I think could meet their needs, to be honest.
The issue is that they're in your class.
True. True, yes.
And what I'm having a problem with is that we've explored in quite a lot of detail about the approaches and things that you've put in place, which have a certain amount of success for some of the children some of the time, and it seems quite hard for you to be able to see that.
Yeah. Then that is fair. I think it's about. I actually don't believe I can make a difference.
So it's I've got a confusion then, because in the beginning that we were talking about, one of the things that you really hope is that when children leave your class, they go with this thought that everybody is a valid member, everyone has a valuable contribution, which doesn't sit easily with what's going on now. And it seems like your thoughts and beliefs about you accommodating that isn't really getting anywhere, and you're wanting me to be able to tell you how to do it.
Yeah, because I think I do want that. I think that is a vision that I want, but I don't think I can get it with these three, and I don't think I've got necessarily the approaches and strategies to do that.
So the reality is we've got these three children in your class.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you could wave a magic wand and a miracle's happened in your class for everybody in your class,
okay.
Including those individual children, and you've woke up this morning, a miracle's happened to everybody. How is that? How does that feel for you?
I walk through the door and I see them as they're arriving. They're all coming in calmly.
And how are you feeling?
How am I feeling? Not nervous about going in, not worrying about what they're going to do. Just, okay, great, it's a day, feeling quite positive about going in, actually.
What are the children doing?
They'll be coming in quietly, calmly, and Josh, Sean and Dean will be engaging in the activity like on the same level that everybody else is. They won't be trying to cause a fuss, or they'll be going to their drawers and getting their reading books out, and they'll be coming in for Eric time, and they'll be sat down and everyone will be sat there reading. And
what are you doing while everyone's doing that?
What am I doing? Actually, I'd like to be pointing out and praising children without having to deal with, and I'm not having to deal with the trauma of getting those three settled, and I can actually just praise those people getting it right.
And what else is going on in the room? What are the other children doing? How are they looking at you, and how are they talking with each other? What else is happening?
They're doing not that much differently to what they're already doing. They're coming in, but they're recognising that I'm going to be watching them as much as I'm going to be watching those three. So perhaps they're making it clearer that they're doing the right things. They think they're going to get praised.
So how do you think the other children are feeling? That you're noticing them and giving them praise?
More noticed.
So they're feeling that you're noticing them and giving them praise.
Yeah.
How do you think Sean is feeling? He's getting his book out and he's getting his reading, and how do you think he's feeling? What's he doing?
I'd like to think he was feeling glad to be there.
Yeah. So Sean's feeling he wants to be there, and Dean and Josh?
And the same for those two, they're pleased to be coming
and
to school.
And what are you doing in order to help them feel like that?
I'm pointing out all the good things that are happening, how well they're doing, how well they're settling in.
So in an ideal world, when we've got the miracle happening, what you're doing is noticing children behaving well, noticing children who are following the routines and the agreements of the class and remembering the rules, and children, they're responding to you.
Yeah.
And everyone is following your instructions. Is that how it'll be?
That's a good picture. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping.
So if we think about that, hold that picture and link it back to what you want as an ideal for all of the children, that what they take away is that feeling of the miracle of you being in there and noticing everything they're doing well.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
So we've talked about this miracle, and when I was there for my observations, I saw a lot of those things already happening. Now, if we think remember we've done the scaling before, when we've on a scale of 1 to 10, what we've just talked about is number 10. Definitely. You've got there. The miracles happen to everybody. You're on a 10, and when we discussed it before, you felt you were about a 6. So about a 6 on your way to get to a 10. What would be going on if we were at a 6.1, 6.2?
Probably Dean, Sean and Josh would manage the opening Eric bit, even if it's just coming through the door.
So to get you to a sense of about 6.1 or 2, there would be some thought around getting the reading books ready for them. Come in, reading books out, probably sat at tables without interfering with other people. And is there anything you need to do in order to make that happen?
Possibly need to revisit that with them, and I don't know, possibly make it clearer expectation to them.
So to get you to your next step, when you hope you're on about a 6.2, you're going to talk with the whole class and remind them of the early morning routines. Followed up by an individual conversation with each boy.
I think
Each boy separately.
I think that's certainly possible, definitely.
Each boy separately, which you feel is going to be more effective than working with them as a threesome.
I think individual. I think because the relationship we said earlier is better on a one-to-one. I think probably on a one-to-one basis.
And as you indicated earlier, what they need is different too.
Yeah.